Hey, today we are going to be drawing this awesome Art Pinwheel design. It's really easy and it's going to be really fun. All you'll need is a ruler, pencil and eraser, scissors, and of course you'll need your paper. Okay, let's get to work.
Step 1 is to create a square paper. If you have paper that's already square, you can skip this. But if you don't, you're just going to begin by measuring the short end of your paper. Mine's 8.5 inches. And then you'll go to your long edge of your paper and you'll make a little mark at that length. Then you'll go to the bottom of your paper on the long edge and you'll make another mark at the same measurement. And then you'll just join up those two marks with your ruler. Try to get this as neat and straight as you can. It will make future parts of your drawing a lot easier. Get your scissors and cut as neatly as possible on the line you just drew. And save your scrap of paper, you will need it later. Okay, if we look at our completed drawing, we can see that we're going to need our vertical and horizontal line first. This is a drawing that's sort of split into 4 quadrants. So start by folding your square in half. And then you'll fold again, bringing the short edge to the other short edge. And if we compare to our finished drawing, we can see that this is the correct size of our quadrant. We're going to make these smaller squares next. So just fold in half again. And this is our last fold. Bring the short edge to the other short edge. And if we can compare to our final drawing, we see this is the right size. Next, we need our diagonal lines. These diagonal lines are going to basically be like there's an X in each of our 4 quadrants. So carefully unfold your paper. And begin by tracing your creases. Remember, keep your lines straight and neat. So now we have our 4 quadrants. We're going to split those 4 quadrants into smaller squares. And it's time to create the diagonal lines or the X's within each of the 4 quadrants. Put your pencil on the middle of the quadrant. And slide out to the corner. If your square is really straight, you might be able to slide all the way to the bottom corner. If not, just take it one square at a time. And finish out your X in your first quadrant. All right, time for the second X. Put your pencil in the middle of Quadrant 2 and slide to the outside corner and down to the bottom corner. And then finish your X in Quadrant 2. All right, Quadrant 3. Go ahead and finish that X. And finish your X in Quadrant 4. All right, with the folding and the lines all done, we've got our X in our first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. We can get to the fun part. Let's start the shading. Now, when we shade, we're going to arrange our darks and lights so that this drawing has a lot of contrast. Let's begin. You can start anywhere. I'm going to pick to start right there. And I'm starting dark in the middle. And I'm going to shade and blend so that this little triangle is getting lighter as it gets out to the edge. Quadrant at a time. Now, since this triangle is light at the edge and dark in the middle, our next one that we do is going to be dark at the edge and light in the middle. I like to make a little line at the edge just to keep things neat. And I'm starting with my dark edge. I find this drawing a lot easier if you start with your dark first and get lighter. Go ahead and grab your scrap paper that you saved if you need it to keep your drawing from smearing. And just try to blend as smoothly as you can. And I like to go back and lighten and blend with my eraser if needed. All right, that's our first little square. Now, this one's going to be dark in the middle because our last triangle was light in the middle. So we're going to start dark and work our way out lighter as we get towards the edge. So, working in our pattern. Next triangle is going to be dark at the edge and light in the middle. working clockwise in Quadrant 1. We're shading dark in the middle and fading out to a light value at the edge. Continue like this until you have completed Quadrant 1. Alright, Quadrant 2. This is where it gets a little tricky. You'll have to look at what you did in the previous quadrant to figure out your pattern. So if I'm starting here, my last square was dark at the edge. So I want this one to be light at the edge and dark in the middle. Just checking my pattern as I go, making sure that my dark edge is against a light edge. And we'll continue working clockwise in Quadrant 2. Working in a pattern just as we did in Quadrant 1. When you have completed Quadrant 2, move on to Quadrant 3. Once again, when you start it, check what you did before and make sure you're contrasting your darks and lights. Through Quadrant 3. I would stop following along at this point. Alright, now I got distracted here. I decided I'd leave it in so you could see what happened. Caught my mistake. And let's just see how long it takes me to notice. I still haven't noticed, even though I have a white edge next to a white edge, and I really should have probably noticed by now. Still just making it really pretty and blendy. I still have not noticed. If you caught it before me, you win art class today. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Hopefully you catch it earlier than I did. Just my mistake erased, I can double, triple check, make sure I have a dark edge next to a light edge starting quadrant 4, and I can finish my drawing. If you make a mistake with yours, just trace your steps, find where the mistake was, and just erase it and start over. Once you are finished with quadrant 4, you have completed your project.
If you gave this a try, please let me know how it went. I can't wait to see what you made. Thank you for drawing with me today.